Today is September 25th, and the Board of Commissioners special meeting is called to order at 1:50. Will the city clerk please call the roll?
Mayor Black,
Present.
Vice Mayor Weinstein, here. Commissioner Hodges,
Here.
Commissioner Oakley,
Here.
Commissioner Doubter.
Present.
Next on the agenda is public comment. Public comment is now open. If you speak, please speak directly into the microphone, state your name, your full address, and please be civil and respectful.
Good afternoon, Mayor, Commissioners, and the rest of the staff and our friends at home. I just wanted to make sure that everyone knew that we're doing our second annual golf tournament on October 22nd. We have flyers, and everybody is welcome to participate. Thank you.
It's not working.
Can you turn the microphone on?
Start over again, or am
Turn over.
It's been a couple years since I've been in front of the board. We're having our 17th evening of remembrance. I've been doing these on Madeira Beach for the last 17 years, and I'm asking for the possibility of getting a waiver on our $100 fee. I used to run Suncoast Yellow Ribbon Suicide Prevention Program. I'm no longer with that group, but I still run the Suicide Bereavement Group for Pinellas County. Suicide's the 9th cause of death in the state of Florida, 9th cause of death in the United States. This month is Suicide Prevention Month. You may not have heard that, but so I'm asking for this because we are not a 501(c)(3). We have very minimal amount of money. I think people pay the heavy price to join my group. I don't charge fees for it. And so that's what I'm asking for, is the variance on the $100 fee for having my group. And if I could take a moment and share with you my quilts, as I have done in the past, is that all right with you? Okay. Let me go ahead and share those with you. Kind of puts a little face on suicide for you, so. And I originally made this for Suncoast Yellow Ribbon. Each one of these yellow ribbons represent a person who died by suicide in the state in 1 year. So as you can see, this is a humongous problem for our state and our country. You want me to turn that around for the audience, or? Okay. This happened in 2015. You saw how many people died by suicide in the year, just 1 year, 2015. This is the first quilt that I did for putting faces on suicide. And this one right here, Timothy McClellan, that's my boy, that's my only child. When he died by suicide in 2002, he did leave me a note. And it had a PS on it. It said, "Learn from this and help each other." So I've been trying to honor his last wishes to me ever since. And that, by the way, was taken on Madeira Beach. Remember the old wooden seats that they had at Archibald Park? So that was sitting there. I actually got married just 4 years ago right there. I was the first person to have a wedding at there, and My friends actually enlarged that picture really big so that he could sit at our wedding. And this last one here, again, is just puts a picture on it. We have some military people. You can see that it's just a diverse amount of people. And it puts a face on it because people don't realize that this is just everyday, regular people who have a moment where the serotonin will drop out of the brain and you can step past that fight and flight and take your life. Otherwise, we're not wired up to be able to do that. So it definitely is a mental health issue. Thank you very much for your time. I hope that you can give us a pass this year for the $100. Thank you.
Can I ask you a question, Bonnie? On that first quilt you held up, you had a lot of yellow ribbons on it. There's a few white ones. Does that mean anything? Okay.
No, it's just that it's probably they faded over the years because I started it in 2003. I built the first one in 2003, and every year I just stick on another year and add more. I've never taken them down. That numbers always go up, unfortunately. So it's just year to year, different colors of the yellow ribbon.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much for sharing. Your quilts are very moving and beautiful. Thank you.
Excuse me, do we have an event permit?
Okay.
An event permit?
Oh, I don't know.
We were waiving, she asked us to waive something, is there?
Yes, she did file an event permit. We do have it on file. So really the only fee that applies is the $100 event permit application fee for, that goes with all of them.
Where is the event?
Where is it? It's at Archibald Park.
Okay.
It's just I don't want to say simply, but it's just a gathering on the beach and a memorial service they have there.
Well, I make a motion that we,
Can't vote on it.
this is a special meeting.
Madam Mayor,
Can-
if I may, before the board consider taking official action, it's important to note that they are not a 501c3 entity. So, when you look to effectively waive fees or grant fees, the statute really talks about a specific public purpose and a public benefit. And in most cases, you want to make sure that that is consistent with a 501c3 organization. If it's the board's desire to effectively waive that fee or pay that fee, my recommendation is that collectively us as a group contribute, a couple of dollars each to get to that $100 to pay that fee versus utilizing public expenditures for that purpose, since it is not a 501c3 agency. It's just cleaner that way.
So do we do a consent to do it? Or
Well-
what's your suggestion?
What we can do is after this meeting, we can certainly take a collection and we can just pay the fee, the $100 fee for the event, and then that issue would be resolved. So we would not use any money from the city coffers to do it. It would be a contribution that we will all make to assist in funding the event.
So we won't have a vote, we'll just have a consensus to do that, yes or no? Yes, public comment's still open.
Commissioner, city staff, I'm Bill Carnes, 19424 Gulf Boulevard, also the president of Rock Park. Unfortunately, Rock Park has somewhere between 40 and 50 memorials for children that had committed suicide. We would like to pay that $100 fee on behalf of the representative here. And we appreciate what she's doing. So thank you.
Thank you, Bill. That was very generous. Does anyone else wish to speak? Public comment is now closed. Next, we have Resolution 2018-15, memorializing the approval of board action to suspend charging for parking until the red tide is no longer in Madeira Beach. City Manager?
Madam Mayor, members of the board, this item before you is approval of Resolution 2018-15, a resolution that effectuates the legislative intent by the Board of Commissioners expressed at the September 18th, 2018 meeting. Because of the red tide, we have experienced a decrease in folks that are visiting our community, and it has had an adverse impact on the business community. So based on that particular situation, staff is recommending that we approve Resolution 2018-015, and then when the conditions improve that is being provided from Pinellas County Environmental Services Department as far as the water conditions, and when red tide is no longer in the area, then we would have the corresponding resolution to reinstitute the parking fees. But at this particular moment, staff is recommending that we continue to keep the fees suspended until further notice. We are constantly monitoring the conditions on a daily basis, and we will have a resolution waiting in the wings once the conditions in the Gulf improve and in our intercoastal waterways. So at this time, staff is recommending approval of Resolution 2018-15.
Are we going to get an update today?
You're going to an update as far as the parking impact?
No.
Or the
No, red tide.
red tide is what we're experiencing is there's pockets of odor. There is still water discoloration. We're also seeing fish that are in the intercoastal waterways. As far as the levels of red tide, it fluctuates in areas that are being tested in the community. So at this particular moment, with the information that we're provided, we don't think it is in the best interest to reconstitute the fees, because people are they're out on the beach, but they're sunbathing. They're not actually in the water. We are seeing some folks that are visiting the pass, so word is getting out that there is an impact, and there is an opportunity for folks to come and shop at our local businesses without paying parking. But we will have a more in-depth analysis that will be provided to the board, probably at your next meeting, the first meeting in October. That will be both the financial impact to the city as well as the environmental conditions. But as it stands right now, you have pockets of odor. You still have red tide that's present. The plume, as previously communicated, is the largest plume in history. It is over 1 million acres and 30 feet deep in some spots. So it is still present on our shorelines, and we're working with the contractor on the county side, as well as working with folks at Moat to continuously stay attuned to what's going on. But at this particular moment, the conditions are improving, but not to the level where we believe that you're going to see an influx of folks visiting our community, because it is still pretty prevalent, and you are seeing the environmental issues that are out there for those that are on the beach.
I think Treasure Island's done the same thing. I was down there today, and their pay stations were bagged. So
Yeah, I think some other cities are going to follow suit.
that's good.
Any more discussion?
I guess I think it's a great thing that we've done to help support the business community, and I just want to make sure that I think we've done due diligence, but I just wanted to make sure that we don't let it go on and
Right.
on and on. And that if the water, did you notice when you walked on Treasure Island, did you notice that there were any signs about people going in the water at the beach accesses? Or has anybody noticed that? Okay, I didn't know if it was necessary to.
We had,
Put that signage.
some entities have placed signs. The county has left that at the discretion of each municipality as to how they want to handle that, whether they want to place signage as it relates to the conditions. So there is signage available should we choose to place that. We haven't done that because we're constantly monitoring the situation, and in most cases, folks are well aware of the conditions that we're experiencing on the waterway. So we were continuing to monitor that. The fiscal impact to the city on an aggregate, when we look at what we did revenue last year for the month of September, was about $97,000. So it's about $3,200 a day, give or take, what the impact is. But we're going to be consistently monitoring that. But in the event that we didn't waive parking, I think you would have also seen, the number still be low regardless because of what we're experiencing. So,
Right. City Manager, if in case, I mean, this would be a wonderful thing if it happened, if the county then told you on Thursday, for instance, today's Tuesday, and they told you on Thursday, hey, it really looks good now, you can go back to your charging, okay? Then we're not going to wait. Are you going to canvass each commissioner, or how are you, I mean?
What we would do is if the conditions improved midweek, then we would inform the board that we would call a special meeting probably the following week and give the businesses ample time to be aware that, at least 5 days before we go ahead and reconstitute our parking fees. So we would then say that, based on the information that's provided from the folks out in the fields and the scientists from Pinellas County, that we feel comfortable in reconstituting the parking fees, and we'll make sure we provide adequate notice to all parties involved. So it wouldn't be something that if conditions improved on Thursday that we would reinstitute the parking fees on Friday. We would give adequate notice for all those.
Okay, 5 days.
Yeah,
okay.
at least,
Thank
yes.
You.
Did County Park keep their parking on or off?
I'm not aware of the county park. I can't find that information out. But every time I've passed their parking lot, it's been pretty sparse as far as folks that have chosen to park there. In addition to, there's some information that we're going to put out that folks believe that parking throughout the entire city is waived, and that's not in fact the case. It's only on city-owned lots. The private providers are still charging for parking, but we are not on city-owned lots. So those folks that visit our community, please make sure that you do see the City of Madeira Beach signage to know that you are, in fact, in the City of Madeira Beach parking lot. The other entities are still charging their regular freight for parking.
Floor is now open for public comment.
Reed Tyner, 4996 Miramar Drive, Madeira Beach. I have to tell you, the people that are coming out to the beach are appreciating there being for free. And whenever they come up, they're like, how is that happening? And I'm telling them, it is y'all that did it. And so to call the City of Madeira Beach, thank them for it, but that y'all had voted to make the parking free. And so I'm letting y'all know, we are telling the vendors, we're all telling people it's because of y'all that they have free parking. So to appreciate it and to thank you. So, and now you were questioning on the readings of the red tide. Some days are better and some days are worse. So if you get a good reading one day, I don't know that I'd start that 5-day countdown because it varies, but the government knows what they're doing. They're out there every day. I talked to the guy out there testing it. So, but thank you. Please continue it. It does help some, so let's just keep on trying, please. Thank you.
Does anyone else wish to speak? Floor is now closed for public comment. Any more discussion on the board?
No, I'll make a motion if there's no more discussion that,
She needs to read the resolution first before we make the motion.
you need to read it.
That's
Sorry.
true.
Resolution 2018-15, a resolution of the Board of Commissioners for the City of Madeira Beach, Pinellas County, Florida, providing for waiver of parking fees during red tide event and providing for an effective date.
Now I'll do it. Okay, I move that we adopt or approve Resolution 2018-15, temporary park fee waiver.
I second.
We have a first and a second. Will the city clerk please call the roll?
Vice Mayor Weinstein,
Yes?
Commissioner Oakley,
Yes.
Commissioner Doubter,
Yes.
Commissioner Hodges,
Yes.
Mayor Black.
Yes. Meeting is now adjourned at 2:10.